A horrific illness is destroying a young woman's life. Genetics or the influence of otherworldly forces? Don't miss out. The psychics will uncover a horrifying secret that the poor soul is paying for with her beauty. Welcome to Psychic Investigations, a project of real and astonishing stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate tangled criminal cases and incredible paranormal phenomena. A small village in Ukraine. This is the house of the Ivanov family. One of the daughters, 20-year-old Yana, is studying to become a teacher. Her 2-year-older sister, Natalia, avoids contact with people because in their eyes, she almost always sees barely concealed fear.
This patient presents with type 1 neurofibromatosis with a facial tumor.
When Olena gave birth to her elder daughter, she couldn't have imagined the suffering the girl would endure, or the pain she herself would face, knowing no one could help her flesh and blood.
I even thought about selling a kidney. If I could, I'd give her my face. I've had marriage, a family, and children, but she may never have any of that.
Type 1 neurofibromatosis is a very rare condition, about 1 in every 5,000 cases. The disease is genetically inherited.
Natalia's parents say no one in their family has ever had anything like this.
Nothing of the sort.
Current data also suggests it arises from gene mutations.
At 6 months old, the shape of Natalia's eye began to change. Over time, the entire right side of her face became deformed. In her 22 years, Natalia has endured 12 surgeries, cardiac arrest, and clinical death. And the growths on her face never stopped growing.
Of course it's unpleasant. People react in all kinds of ways. You could say their reaction to me is like they see a rabid wolf. Once, a child got so scared that it broke my heart.
Sometimes she just wants to walk down the street without someone pointing a finger at her.
Poor Natalia can only dream of being beautiful, of catching the eye of a young man who might offer her his hand and heart.
I don't use makeup. Makeup is meant to highlight beauty, and I have nothing to highlight.
It tears my soul apart. It's so hard. She's such a kind person.
Doctors say the only way to remove the growths is through surgery, but they approach each procedure with caution and can't guarantee the disease won't return. Besides, after 12 surgeries and cardiac arrest, another operation would be a massive risk.
The disease is progressing. Given her complications when we weigh aesthetic beauty against human life, the latter must take precedence.
Natalia's family suspects her illness may be the result of some kind of dark magic, as 6 months ago, something very strange began happening to her.
Something's choking her, but we don't know what.
Doctors say there are no physical causes that could explain the episodes. What's more, Natalia has recently begun sensing a presence near her.
I was watching TV and felt something like a hand brush down my back. I turned, but there was nothing there. Then I heard footsteps in the room. I looked again but saw no one.
Natalia's family is convinced some otherworldly force is trying to take their daughter, and they're willing to do anything to save her.
I'd give my soul, not just my life.
Clairvoyant Jana Shulikova and Irish medium Sharon Neal begin working with Natalia's photograph.
I see a grinning face, but not of the girl in the photo. The girl in my vision is exhausted. Her body is covered in bruises and wounds. Someone is pressing red-hot tongs to her face. She's in excruciating pain.
When I received the photo, I worked with it right away. But soon after, I went to bed. And what I dreamed terrified me. An old woman handed me a book. I didn't want to touch it. Suddenly, she became furious. The book opened and closed on its own. Pages tore out and began swirling. Then I realized I couldn't breathe and started choking. I screamed so loudly in my sleep that my whole family came running.
What do the strange visions the psychics had mean, and what do they have to do with what's happening to Natalia? To find out, the clairvoyants travel to meet her.
Hello.
Hello.
Come in. We've been waiting for you.
Sharon Neal has been blind since birth and usually walks with a guide.
Wait a moment, please. I feel a spirit's presence here. Oh my God, it's a girl. She's covered in blood. Looks like she was beaten. Does she have any relation to your family?
I'm not sure. Nothing like that has ever happened since we settled here.
So who is the spirit the clairvoyant sees, and how is it connected to Natalia's episodes?
This is my husband, Mikola, and our younger daughter, Yana. It's Sunday, and Natalia went to church. She should be back any minute.
May I hold your hand? I feel you and your daughter share a strong bond.
Olena says she loves both her daughters more than life itself. She accepted Natalia's terrifying diagnosis with courage, always doing everything to make sure her daughter never felt different.
We were in the hospital once, and a mother shared her child also had a condition, so she kept them locked inside so no neighbors or strangers would see them. But I never hit her. We're always together as a mother and daughter, side by side.
But whose presence does Natalia feel near her? Who or what is choking her at night?
I saw a woman who holds immense power. And she did everything she could to make this girl, Natalia, suffer terribly.
At that moment, no one realized this was the first clue that would help the psychics unravel the case.
I feel warmth coming from that direction.
Maybe it's the crew?
No, it's not the crew. May I go into the next room?
Sure.
Your daughter is standing in front of me.
Yes, that's my daughter.
It turns out, Natalia had returned from church, but she hesitated to join the psychics.
I'm pleased to meet you.
Me too.
I sense that something is wrong on this side of your body, and it began in the first months of your life.
Yes, yes, yes.
When Natalia was 3 months old, her parents noticed her right eye was enlarging and drooping.
Her cheek started growing. They'd remove it, but it would come back. No surgery helped.
The right side of Natalia's face began to sag, enlarge, and deform.
We went to the town, and a woman passed by and just screamed, "Oh, God!" I was stunned.
I know what you're going through. I've been blind since birth. In school, kids bullied me. They'd bring a hand to my face and ask how many fingers I could see.
That's cruel.
Natalia doesn't like to talk about what she's been through. She's learned to be strong and brave, keeping all her pain inside.
My classmates would tease me a little and poke fun.
Natalia graduated from school with near-perfect scores and earned a degree in accounting, but she can't find work. Nobody wants to hire her.
As I felt through Natalia's life, I realized her illness, the choking at night, and the presence she senses. They were all connected. It's the work of a woman, but I don't know how she achieved this effect. I've never seen magic like this.
You've been through so much in your life. You've had multiple surgeries.
She nearly died from them. I think she had clinical death.
Her heart stopped.
When Natalia was 13, she underwent her 12th surgery, after which her heart stopped. Doctors fought for 10 minutes to bring her back. To Olena, it felt like an eternity. She prayed to God not to take her daughter.
All I wanted was for her to live. After that, my husband was in shock. He said, "No more trips. No more surgeries.
After so many surgeries with such a disease and such a fate, she was brought back to this world for a reason. She clearly has a mission.
What is the mission, though? And how is it related to the thing that's haunting and choking Natalia?
At that moment, I saw a spirit covered in earth, radiating a very dark energy. I was terrified. It felt like the person had been buried alive.
Early in the investigation, the Irish clairvoyant saw the spirit of a girl covered in blood, allegedly beaten. Now she describes someone who seems to have been buried alive. But who is this? And more importantly, how do these visions relate to what's happening with Natalia?
And I saw an image of a rural area. I felt magnetically drawn to it. I need to go somewhere, to the place where you came from.
The village where she was born.
Olena immediately understood. Natalia was born in a village 7 kilometers from here. The family lived there with her husband's parents.
I'll go to the place the cards showed me.
And I'd like to stay and work with Natalia.
Natalia will stay with her sister for support, and you'll come with me.
All right.
Due to poor road conditions, reaching Tetiana's house by van is nearly impossible. So Jana Shulikova and Natalia's parents walk there.
Suddenly, right by the van, the spirit of the old lady appeared. She took me by the hand and led me. This is the house the Ards showed me, and the elderly woman. Let me describe her. She's small, and her hair is done in a weird way and looks quite messy.
My mother.
That's Natalia's grandmother.
The clairvoyant brought Natalia's parents to the house where they once lived with Mikola's family. 8 years ago, his father died of cancer. 3 years later, his mother passed from a heart attack. No one lives here now.
Let's go inside. Then I saw the same image from my earlier vision, when I worked with the photo. The old woman in the house that handed me a book. That's when I realized the woman lived in that house. My goodness, that stove scares me.
What frightens the clairvoyant? It's just a typical village stove.
It's like the woman is hiding something in the stove. I feel burning, like hot iron tongs, heated in the stove, used to sear. My God, what kind of cursed book is this? It reeks of burning. Oh no, burnt hair. Oh my goodness, no, there's nothing in the stove. But the book exists. It's just somewhere else. And for some reason, it belongs to Natalia.
It's hard to believe, but at the exact moment Jana Shulikova entered the house, Sharon Neal, who stayed behind with Natalia and Yana, also mentioned some elderly woman.
I sense an old woman grabbing your hand again. Though now, I understand it's your grandmother. She takes you into an abandoned house saying, I want to show you something.
9 days after her death, I started seeing Grandma in my dreams. In one of them, I was sitting on a bench, and she took my hand and said, "You must find the book." I asked, "What book? Where is it?" Then the dream ended. But the next time, I saw 3 books.
Natalia says that after she found the books in her dream, the grandmother stopped appearing to her.
After you found those books in your dream, you started writing something, didn't you?
I started writing a book.
Natalia admitted she'd begun writing a book. It's about her own life, and the protagonist is her.
I've got the beginning, about 3 A4 pages. But then I didn't feel like writing.
I thought I was hallucinating. The old woman who had shown me the book started showing me images of grand balls with women in elegant dresses. At the head of the table sat a girl in a deep burgundy velvet gown.
I have no idea what it is.
What do these strange visions mean?
The woman at the head of the table, she radiates power, consuming power.
How could this possibly be connected to Natalia?
That's something she'll have to answer. Let's go back inside. Well, hello again. When we entered the house, I described the image I'd seen. A woman in a strange dress, shimmering with light.
Full and flowing?
Yes, with ruffles here and here.
This is incredible. It turns out Natalia had seen something similar in one of her dreams.
I was riding in a coach. I jumped down and then the dream cut off.
Do you remember what color the dress was?
I don't remember the color. I just know it was puffy. I don't know what century, but I was wearing a vintage gown. Coach's. It was a different me. A different appearance. A different person.
But what do these strange dreams mean? And how do they relate to what's happening to Natalia now?
Let me perform a ritual. During the ritual, spirits began to appear again. I'd seen them at Natalia's grandmother's house. All those people had died unnatural, violent deaths. It was horrifying, a kaleidoscope of the dead. They circled around Natalia and me, grabbing my hands and pointing at her. Each one began telling me how they died. A young woman showed me her death directly. Her face was awful. I sensed I was in a forest, standing over a torn open grave. I saw Natalia's hands grabbing the girl's throat. Not in this life, but in a past one. She had strangled young women. And then I understood. The woman in the dress I kept seeing was Natalia herself, but from a previous life. The woman at the head of the table, she's incredibly powerful.
Then I began seeing those tortured souls again. Mutilated, beaten, tortured to death. All of them were victims of Natalia in her past life. She killed them and tormented them. And in this life, she's paying the price.
Could it really be that Natalia was a cruel murderer in a past life and that her terrifying illness now is the price she's paying?
I couldn't understand who she might have been before. Where did all that power come from? Why did she act with such impunity? And then I heard it, someone calling her by name. Daria? Daria, enough.
We couldn't figure out who the clairvoyant was referring to, so we turned to historians and were stunned by what we learned.
It may have been Dari Saltychikha, a granddaughter of the prominent figure of the Peter the Great, Avtamon Ivanov.
The strangest part is that Daria's maiden name was the same as Natalia's, Ivanova.
She was the widow of Gleb Saltykov, and there was an event that couldn't be concealed.
She mercilessly tortured and killed her serf peasants and was nicknamed Saltychikha.
She mostly tortured women, her housemaids, though there were men too. Some say she killed 50, while others say 157.
Saltychikha constantly invented new ways to torment her victims.
She poured boiling water on them, left them outside in the freezing cold, and beat them with sticks.
It's hard to believe. Yet the clairvoyants described these same images during the investigation.
The girl is exhausted. They press red-hot tongs to her face.
Easy. Easy. Ammonia or Valadol. Get her some air.
To keep her from collapsing, a man escorts Olena out of the room. The clairvoyants continue their work.
Jana. What's tormenting Natalia isn't just her past life. It's the mission she must fulfill in this one.
Her grandmother didn't appear in dreams for nothing. She kept showing her the book, and she's even trying to break through into this world. This is the presence Natalia feels. She's even started choking at night. She must tell the world about her illness, her life, and her pain. The book will be her confession, and through it, she'll be cleansed. She'll also stop others from becoming what she once was. She'll have a real chance to fight her illness.
I'm feeling better now.
I only told Natalia to do what she must.
To write a book about herself, a unique person with a hard ailment.
I will finish my book.
I was honestly shocked.
Thanks to the psychics, Natalia felt hope for the future. For her, I have no words to describe it. For her, it's everything. When they said she had to write a book, I believed she will.